Hello and welcome to the Style File. I'm Hansina. Now, later on today's show, we'll have a new segment called Made In, where we pick the cream of home designed and produced brands from different regions across the country. Today we'll be starting with Zurich. So Celeste Duvoisin will be in the studio later on. And next we've got a watch by the local Swiss designer Maurice de Mauriac. Now, before we get to talking about which item, I actually caught up with Daniel Dreyfus, who's the man behind Maurice de Mauriac, and asked him to tell me a bit more about the brand.
Now, first of all, the name is very strange. It's not like the standard names. The base of our name is Michel de Montaigne, which was a very free essayist, and François Mauriac, who was a Nobel Prize guy in 1952 in France. So for me, the stimulation and esoteric. My watch, people say in my watches there's the most of energy. We don't describe that, but we try to put most energy in our watches. Love, heart, thinking, and taste.
Okay, but if I'm trying to visualize it, if people have never seen it, what would you say is the design philosophy? How would you describe the style?
I love Paul Smith, for example. So I combine. I'm a banker. I was a banker. I combine. It's me. It's my stomach, my heart. I stimulate. I have not a certain line, but it's a question. I am the first client, but I love old Patek Philippe watches, but I like also carbon dials.
Okay, so it's a mixture of of classic and contemporary?
Yes, I would say like that. And, we have one atelier shop which is going outside. So I have a lot of energy from outside people.
Right, you mean the atelier is actually open to the public?
Yes, and so we learn a lot by the energy, the transfer of out and in.
And talking about the public, who do you see as your kind of target customer? Or who is the Maurice de Mauriac watch wearer?
I have a guy, a sailor from the Lake of Zurich. He bought the watch in 10 times. I have clients flying in from London. I have people, they are 60 years old, but I would say, because we are not expensive, we are between 2,000 and 4,000 francs. Most of the people, also they like also to bluff, to have watches for more than 10,000. But for me, usually there are people at 18 years old, at 22 years old. But for me, a watch in my range is already luxury.
Talking of luxury in the luxury watch world, I mean, you're seen as something of a pioneer because you've come into this world as an outsider. Yeah. You've set up production in Zurich, which isn't in the main production center of watches in Switzerland. How difficult was it to penetrate this world?
I would say my success would never be a success in Geneva, because in Geneva there are so many other brands, so I wouldn't have any chance. But I have to say, it was still, I thought after 20 years you will have a success, but it takes 10 other years to really penetrate.
Because it's quite a closed world?
And people, if they spend 2,000, they prefer to buy second-hand Omega, for example, than to trust a new brand.
Right, so it's all about getting the brand recognition. And what do you do? What kind of marketing do you do to achieve that?
I do a lot in guerrilla marketing. So for me, we go when there is a new house building, a new commercial building. We put beautiful photos on it. But the most important of our marketing is the satisfied client. So we try each watch, which is a success. The client should bring back his friend. Clients came to us and said they will not buy a watch unless our name is Maurice de Mauriac Zurich. So all our dials are reworked on Zurich. We were the name of Maurice de Mauriac Swiss, and now all our dials are worked on Maurice de Mauriac Zurich.
And were those people from Zurich who said that?
Lawyers, and they say you need to write Zurich.
Do you feel like you're from Zurich, or do you feel like you're Swiss?
I'm unique, I'm a Jewish background, and I was the Maurice de Mauriac is also a protection for my Jewish name, because I was not sure if people would wear a Jewish name watch in Switzerland. That was Daniel Dreyfus from Maurice de Mauriac. He's a great guy, so fascinating, Celeste.
He is.
And we'll try and get time to do a profile on him later on in the series. But let's just quickly wrap up talking about the piece you've chosen by Maurice de Mauriac for Made In.
Yeah, it's from the Tonneau collection, and it retails at 3,750 Swiss francs. And this model has a striking black face with rose gold coloured numerals and hands set in sapphire crystal glass with see-through back cover, which makes it a sophisticated yet sporty timepiece.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Celeste. And you can tune into future shows for the Made In series. That is all we've got time for on this week's Style File. On next week's show, we'll be at the Design Days event in Geneva, and we'll also be looking at those 5 key investments.